Hey there, welcome to another episode of Missional Money, the podcast. I've been on vacation. It's been July. It's now August 1st, year of our Lord 2022, and today I want to talk about ETF investing. Before I went on vacation, I have a new client. This post is for my client, and maybe for you too. If you're investing in a 401k, this particular client I'm working with has a significant amount of money in a 401k, and we're looking at his investment strategies, and I'm suggesting that if possible, and he does have the ability, this client has the ability, and you may too, to move some of his 401k into a brokerage link account where he could then trade or invest in other investment vehicles besides what is available in the 401k. So that's what brought up this topic, this post. I want to talk about exchange traded funds. I've talked about these in the past many times. They're my favorite investing vehicle. And if you're not familiar with an ETF, if you're not familiar with the distinctions between an ETF and a mutual fund or an index fund, then this post is for you. You can find it at bayrockfinancial.com. That's where I posted it. I will also post this at missionalmoney.com. And I'm also creating a podcast episode about ETF investing, really just to start the conversation. If you're interested in learning more, let me know. Leave a podcast review and just mention that in the review, and I'll give you a shout out, and I'll do more if you would like. But I really just wanted to let you know that this information is available on the website. I got this from investopedia.com. I did not write most of this content myself, but my favorite place to look for investment information is Investopedia, and they've got some great articles on ETFs, and I kind of copied and pasted several of them, but I put it all together with basically a definition of ETF, the difference between an ETF and a mutual fund, which is an important difference to understand. How do the ETFs work? Different types of ETFs. There are a lot of different types of ETFs, just like mutual funds. So if you're used to investing in mutual funds, you know you can go out and find a mutual fund that focuses on large cap U.S. stocks or international stocks or value stocks. And that's what you get with a mutual fund. The difference is you pay a fee for that manager to go and identify the best picks, the best stocks in those areas. With an ETF, they're more like an index fund, so there's no manager. They're active, but they trade very differently than a mutual fund. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time making you an expert on an ETF. I just want to make you aware that an ETF is different than a mutual fund. It is far superior to a mutual fund if you're managing an account with, say, over $500,000, you should be looking at ETFs. If you have a smaller account, $100,000, $200,000, your investment advisor may not even offer exchange traded funds because the company that your advisor works for may only offer mutual funds. If you're looking for an investment advisor who can provide a wider range of investment opportunities, you would probably want to look for a registered investment advisor. Most of us, I am an RIA and a certified financial planner, most of us really like ETFs, and there's many reasons why. And that's really the point of this episode, this post, is to let you know that their ETFs are superior in many ways. They give us the ability to manage risk. And so I've left a pretty good amount of information in the post, but I want to highlight kind of really one big key feature of an ETF. I'm looking for it here. What makes an ETF different from a mutual fund? If you were to invest, last week we had the Fed come out with an announcement that they were going to raise interest rates 75 basis points. And there was some talk that they may raise interest rates 100 basis points or 1%. So this sets the example for what would happen if you decided, hey, you've got some cash and you wanted to put it to work. If you were going to invest in a mutual fund versus an ETF, here's how it would work. So in the morning, The market, let's say the market is down because the announcement hasn't come out yet and the market's nervous. So let's just assume the market's down 500 points in the morning. If you go ahead and post your order, put your order in. If you're using an ETF like the SPY, my favorite exchange traded fund that invests in the S&P 500, it trades like 6 million shares a day. Super thin spread, meaning the spread ask is very, very close. So you're not going to get, you're not going to lose money on a trade in terms of the seller and the buyer. It's a very, very thin bid-ask spread. So in the morning, I buy SPY because the market's down 500 points, and I'm thinking it's a pretty good opportunity to get into the market. At the end of the day, though, the market is up 500 points. Now, if I invested in an ETF, I got the morning price, the much lower price. And if I decided to sell that ETF at the end of the day because we had such a big move up in the market, then I would have made money on that trade. Now, on the other hand, if you were investing in a mutual fund and you did exactly the same thing and you placed your trade in the morning while the market was down and you waited until the end of the day and you saw that the market was way up, well, if you're investing in a mutual fund, you never really purchased that mutual fund even though you put your order in the morning, because mutual funds trade at the end of day price. So that's one distinction. If you think about that in terms of managing a portfolio, that's one distinction. With an ETF, you get to trade it like a stock. Another distinction that I really appreciate is that unlike a mutual fund, with an ETF, you can trade options. So we can sell calls, we can sell puts, we can sell spreads or buy spreads if that's what you want to do. I religiously only sell options. So I only sell credit options. So inside baseball, I'll explain it to you in another post. But the point is, with ETFs, we can trade options. We can't do that with mutual funds. It gives us another ability, a more advanced opportunity to manage risk in your portfolio. So those are a couple of my favorite distinctions. Again, check out the post and you'll see the different types of ETFs. And again, if you have questions, just hit me up with an email or click on my calendar link. I think it's all here on the page. You can update your plan. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll see where the podcast is, but I believe right there you can post, you can jump onto my calendar anytime you want and make an appointment. We've got lots of openings coming up. The last week or so was kind of busy. So there you have it. I haven't posted in a while, the podcast since the 4th of July. So that's one reason I wanted to go ahead and just make this a post for the podcast. So again, lots of information about ETF investing posted at bayrockfinancial.com, and I'm scrolling through that as we speak. By the way, if you are interested in getting a portfolio analysis, the first thing you're going to want to do is click on this link, get your risk number, because, yep, that's a link. So just click on that link. It's also at the top of the page, but that's where it starts. Get your risk number, and I'll be happy to do a free portfolio analysis to tell you how much expenses, what your expenses are, and also how much risk you have in your portfolio. And I'll help you figure out how much risk you should have in your portfolio in order to achieve the goals that you've set for yourself. But again, this post has been about ETF investing, and it is, to me, in my opinion, and I believe I'm right, and I am an expert, an investment advisor. We prefer ETFs. It's a type of investment. It's different than a mutual fund. It's different than an index funding. If you don't know about ETFs, you should get to know it. Go check out the post, read it, think about it. If you want to talk more, give me a call, send me an email, hit my calendar link, and we'll take it from there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you're listening in iTunes, by the way, if you would be so kind as to leave a 5-star review and tell me what you would like to hear about, and I'll give you a shout out in the next episode, and I'll also talk about what you want to talk about. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.